Alright, guys. Days Gone. I finished the game uh, into the main story. Not completely. I wanted to share with you guys kind of my thoughts on the overall experience I had with Days Gone. I'm going to just talk about 3 points that I think a lot of people, when it comes to gaming, you want to look at it in 3 simple categories. We're going to look at story. We're going to talk about gameplay. And the very simple at the very end, is it fun? Hitting on these 3 bullet points, I feel like we get more of the, is it worth the money it costs to play or even to rent, to spend time doing? In those 3 categories, I think the very last point of it is huge. So I'm going to keep this as short and sweet as I can. Okay, nice and short. So I want to talk about the story. Okay, so the story for Days Gone is definitely, there's a lot of holes in the story. But it definitely gives you the main character, Deacon, and it allows you to get involved in his personal life, with his relationship with his wife and his friends. And then you get more of a general outlook of his relationship with just others. He's very much a nomad. He's very much to himself. And he's the cool guy. And you either really like the cool guy or you don't. He doesn't really care. He doesn't really give a fuck. He's a character that, as a player, you may connect with really fast. I mean, he's very much seen as an outcast, and yet very much loved by a lot. Maybe not loved is not the best word, but people look up to him and they expect him to do a lot for the camps that you would get involved in. Now, again, the story starts off very slow. It definitely gives you kind of a broad look at the story until it takes off on you, and then it becomes something crazy. And then there's just so many branches of the story, you kind of lose sight a little bit. But then it definitely gives you the general outlook of your main characters, who you're really looking at, who you're really following when the time comes.
How's life, man?
And at the end of it all, it's a story that
Primo shit, let me tell you.
definitely leaves you wanting more. But we're assuming that they might get a sequel. So we're kind of happy with kind of how it went.
Come on, man.
Okay. Now, the most second point I
See
want
you
to talk
later,
to you guys about
Deke,
being
what's up?
gameplay. Now, gameplay, I feel, is huge. You know, making sure the controls are tight, making sure the controls work, and the overall dynamic of that. Yes, the controls work. You play any Grand Theft Auto game, when you jump into this thing, it feels like Grand Theft Auto. Very quickly. What you're doing, the kind of repetitive mission set of search and find things, it doesn't really leave much to the imagination as far as your missions that you are doing. But the controls and everything are very smooth. They're not super clunky. They're responsive. The way you kind of can navigate the bike right now, that's what you see me doing right now. The bike runs great. It's probably the best part of the game, is actually how the bike kind of rides. But you do find yourself on the bike a lot, where it needed to be perfect. So the bike is definitely perfect. Now, as far as everything else is concerned, I feel like I found myself relying a lot on my melee through this game. Once you kind of get the idea of how to really attack certain things, you find yourself bringing out your melee weapon and just crushing anything that moves. So the melee weapons were definitely great. They worked great. You definitely felt like you were just killing each and everything you touched. especially as you power up. The guns feel great. They sound great. The reloading is kind of a pain as far as in gameplay, but definitely expected because of everything kind of going on in certain scenes. I'm going to show you guys that right now. Because when you have like a bunch of horde coming at you, which to me is kind of it shows off the controls a little bit. I thought the way they handled the horde scenes with the controls necessary was, I mean, I don't think you could have really done it any cleaner for a first time. I mean, can they tighten up things here and there? Yeah. But as far as in this attempt, I thought it was perfect. I mean, I really couldn't have asked for anything more. Oh, think of a guy. Oh man, think of a dude. Oh, and they just, yeah, here comes one of the scenes. Ah! All right, well that was a bad play. Yeah, the controls run smooth. They allow you to kind of like slow things down so you can make adjustments while you play, which is great. And the way you can switch from weapon to weapon, from bombs to every trap you can come out with, the way it navigates that was perfect. I liked it. I liked everything about it. Now, the last factor I want to talk about is it fun? And the simple answer is yeah, this game is fun. The story, you kind of lose sight of the story a little bit, but once the story gets going, and once you get a handle on upgrades a little bit, and the bike, and your weaponry, and you kind of understand what you are doing, it's great. I didn't see this before, actually. So definitely the story, slow, but it's fun. It's definitely fun, and I recommend this game. If you like Grand Theft Auto, you will flow right into it. Even if you don't like Grand Theft Auto, it's definitely a good game to purchase and get lost in for the I'm going to think about less than 20 hours straightforward, or maybe 15 hours straightforward with main story. There's a lot of bonus extras with killing hordes. To me, the hordes, once you do your first horde battle against hundreds of enemies, that's where I feel this excitement is. Being able to kill 100 of them at one time is amazing. I've never seen a game like that. I've been playing games for many years now. This is the first game I feel that took a dynamic that's never been seen in a game before, with hundreds and hundreds of enemies, and you have the chance to kill them all. With the right strategy, of course, you got to be smart, but that to me is the fun factor. On top of the bike riding, sometimes is fun when you get to move fast and get going, but obviously with the gas being kind of a limiting factor to start, again, after upgrades and stuff, the gas doesn't really become much of an issue. It's just more of a minor inconvenience, making sure you don't run into like traps where they throw you off the bike and you got to rebuild the bike. Even that's okay, but it's fun. I recommend it. If it's a game you think about getting, I say yes. It's good money, or even to rent. You know, whatever your version is, definitely worth your time. You will definitely enjoy it. You will have lots of fun. You'll get caught up in it. You won't remember too much of how you got to the end, but just know that potentially you would want to play a sequel. So definitely buy. So I hope you enjoyed this little review. This is a real recap. Like I said, I finished it pretty quickly. No real sticking points. And yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. And catch me next time on my channel. If you like my game reviews, leave me a comment below. Let me know if there's any games you want to know about. I'll be happy to get involved and tell you what I think. I like to beat games really quickly and put in some time to them in hopes I can give you guys a good review if it's worth the money. Or sometimes if I don't like it, I'll give you guys a review and tell you guys to not spend your money. And obviously, again, this is all opinionated. This is my opinion. I'm not perfect. I have things I like, things I don't like. Everyone's different. But this game, to me, PS4, gotta play it. It's fun. Later, guys.